November 11, 2024, I took a one-way flight to Thailand. But why? On paper, my life was great. A high-paying job in finance, a growing personal training business, money in the bank, everything I had worked for. But deep down, I felt stuck. So I left. And for the next 7 months, I lived across 6 countries, completely alone. Today, this isn't a travel vlog. This is what changed inside of me. I followed the path that was laid out for me. University, master's degree, a finance job, a growing personal training business, and managing my investments. As an immigrant from Nepal who moved to the UK at 6, on paper, this looked amazing. But deep down, I knew something was off. In my 20s, this felt a bit too safe. I had a quiet desire to explore, not just new places, but to myself. I had only been back to Asia once in all those years. Western culture had become my default. Not bad, but it didn't feel fully me. So in June 2024, I booked that ticket. So in August of 2024, I quit my finance job, went full-time with coaching and slowly shifted online. And by November, I left London. It wasn't easy. I disappointed my parents, I shocked my friends, but to my gut, this felt right. I started in Thailand, then Vietnam, Philippines, Indonesia, Singapore, and finally now Malaysia. I took calls from clients from cafes, trained in different gyms, edited videos in Airbnb kitchens. I ran a marathon, did a Muay Thai camp in Thailand, learned slacklining and rode the Hajang Loop in Vietnam, did scuba diving in Philippines, taught calisthenics to strangers in Bali, and in Singapore I saw a level of prosperity I'd never seen before. And now in Malaysia, I'm prepping for my first bodybuilding competition. Some days were chaotic, time zone clashes, 1 AM client calls, Wi-Fi that barely worked, but even with all the up and downs, every day felt right. I became more confident. I had to. When you're switching countries, cultures and sims every month, you either adapt or you stall. Funny enough, I didn't become less disciplined. I became more structured because I had to be. I started meeting people like me, people working remotely, people traveling, people building something outside the typical 9 to 5. And yeah, I got to date beautiful women from all over the world. But more than that, I gained perspective. Every conversation taught me something new, not just about them, but about myself. And ironically, through all those connections, I became more comfortable being alone. I stopped needing someone next to me to feel whole. And the food, man, on real. Pad Thai for $1, Koi Koi on the streets of Manila, Michelin star meals in Singapore. Honestly, what stayed with me more than the food was the people. The way they showed respect, how some lived so little but smiled more than most people I knew. Even those who were well off, showed me kindness, humility and respect. I kind of felt Asian again for a long time. Sounds weird, but growing up in the streets of London, I'd forgotten what that really meant. But I also saw poverty, slums next to luxury apartments, families with almost nothing, right beside towers of wealth. That contrast hit me hard. It made me more grateful and more grounded. Not everything has been beautiful. Business-wise, it does take a hit because it's not your top priority. And as a result, some months are great and some months are slow. But I got more comfortable not having a huge paycheck every single month. And some connections only last a few weeks, then they disappeared. Either you leave or they leave because they're in their own journey. And first few weeks in a new city can be isolating. I was alone often. I spoke to strangers in cafes, in public, in the gym. So if I knew I needed a connection, I could find it. But I also learned to be alone without the noise, without someone always next to me. The work hasn't stopped and the challenges are still there. But something inside of me shifted. I became more grounded, more confident, more connected to who I actually am. And learned more about this weird, wonderful world that we live in. How people survive, how they love, and how they see life. Especially after visiting North America and Europe and come to Asia, it made me rethink about my definition of success and what happiness actually looks like. But if you are feeling stuck and not sure what's next, you don't have to quit everything. But if you have the same itch to travel, to explore, to work remotely, maybe all you need is a change of environment. And sometimes the best thing you can do is book that one-way ticket.